your reaction to these numbers, where it truly seems like the supply is front and center for the job market rather than demand?
That's true. I mean, you've been covering this all morning. It's really not what a lot of economists expected. That being said, economists have been saying throughout this entire recession that it is a public health crisis first and foremost. And even as we are starting to build back a little bit and have more widespread vaccination, the labor market can only recover so much as we are truly able to address the full scope of the public health crisis. And on top of that, address some of these structural inequalities in the economy that made it so fragile going into the crisis.
Do you think unemployment benefits that have been dished out over the last few months as a result of the pandemic are now stopping people going back to work?
I don't think we see evidence of that. If anything, we know from previous research in economics that unemployment insurance can actually have a really positive effect on how workers search for jobs and the jobs they match into. So we know that in places where there are extended unemployment insurance benefits, that means that workers, when they do go back to work, go into higher paying jobs. They go into jobs that they are a better match for, likely jobs they're more able to be productive in. And that'll have really long-term benefits for the broader economy when workers have a stable foundation to go into great jobs, rather than workers being desperate, going into jobs that aren't good matches, having a lot more churn. That makes a much more stable, unstable economy. So I think these benefits actually are positive.
So, Kate, what happens then in September when the extra unemployment benefits run out? How do you see this dynamic playing out then through the summer and then like come October?
I think what we really need to make sure is that until we are on the other side of this crisis, we are investing in workers, investing in their stability. And so that may mean needing to do things like automatic triggers to ensure that we're maintaining high levels of benefits until we're at a sufficiently low level of unemployment for all workers. And by that, I also want to make sure, as you mentioned, a lot of my research is on gender and race, make sure it's not just the top line numbers, but make sure we're really centering these workers who've been hit the hardest, which is in particular, Black and Latinx women have lost the most employment. So we want to make sure those particular workers, past September, as long as they need, have that stable foundation.